I'm listening to Steppenwolf by Hermann Hesse, and I'm driving, but this is important, and if I don't make this video, I'll forget the idea, or at least how to articulate it this clearly. So, without further ado, Don Quixote, he mentioned that he played Don Quixote many a time, and Don Quixote is the failed Spanish knight who values honor above comfort and convenience, and courage above pleasure. And he's portrayed as an impractical and foolish man because of this, whose exploits are futile. And the reason that Don Quixote's exploits are ultimately futile is not a problem with the character, because that was what Don Quixote was an attack on the character of the knight. The idea that the noble individual could make a difference by being noble, that to make no peace with evil was an ideal and not a fool's errand. But Don Quixote was a critique of the European continent, because Europe had already tried to do that, and many a time through Rome and Constantinople and Charlemagne and all of these people had failed to do so because of its proximity to Africa and Asia. It could not conquer all and must therefore always make peace with evil. Even Genghis Khan shows the power of a Don Quixote, but also his inability to conquer the entire landmass. That is until the American landmass. The American landmass is so geographically constructed that the entirety of it has been entirely conquered by two separate cultures within the memory of our civilization, and was led by Don Quixotes, who were successful in establishing the supremacy of the culture, who on the American continent, made on the American continent at that point in time, not quite peace with evil. We then eradicated slavery, and Don Quixote was successful on the American continent, and now the world copies our example. And before Britain claims they banned slavery before the United States, the British trading empire depended on slavery to economically exist, which is why Britain funded the Confederacy, and why the East India Company, which held more soldiers than the British Empire at its height, disbanded within 10 years after the Civil War, because that American slavery, not British slavery, was holding the British Empire together. Don Quixote of America won.